How are you doing?
Not too bad.
That's good to hear. So, I know we had a lot of things with Peach last time. I know we were talked about like aiming for her head. We talked a little bit about like how to select what moves we go for during punish sequences. Yeah, there was just like it was a bunch of like move selection things, if I recall, and move placement things. So
Yeah.
I wanted to just ask, like, how is that going? Yeah, what have you been finding with it? If you've had the chance to implement it, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I ran into I think two peaches online, and they both went and done to me because I was kind of kicking their heads in. So
Hmm.
so far so good, I think.
So you destroyed them. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
yeah, it felt good. Like I felt like just thinking about placing the fair, like at her head it just smothers them. So yeah, that felt pretty good.
amazing. Yeah, I never really understood why people are like, you have to run away from Peach and you have to like ultra camper and just like play super passively and defensively. I'm like, she has nothing in her spot that are like standard like jump in hits. Like, what?
Hmm.
And her
Yeah.
best moves are lows? Except for like her riskiest option, like what?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
you just hit her, it's
Yeah.
fine. So something I'm curious about. So we focused a lot of the last lesson on like Peach, and kind of looked at like move placement on a character's frame through the lens of like how we beat up like a floaty,
Hmm.
a very specific floaty. But I'm curious, have you ever thought about like what if I told you that we can apply this like idea of like aiming for where the opponent's moves don't cover them effectively to other characters, how do you think that would look versus say Marth?
Uh, yeah. So, like one thing, I don't know if this is exactly applies, but one thing I look for against Marth a lot is I'll do like a non-fast fall full hop like slowly towards them,
Mm-hmm.
um, like trying to bait an F smash, and then I just bop them on their head after it whiffs.
Hmm. Okay. Similar idea.
Yeah,
So
similar idea.
it's not quite the same idea, but it's like
Hmm.
adjacent.
Yeah.
So how I would look at that is when Martha's on the ground, if we think about what moves cover above and in front of him, it's his up tilt, but only for a short time when it first comes
Yeah.
out, and then it's his F smash, right? Because his F tilt
Yeah.
doesn't really, and like the very last frame of his F tilt, basically.
Hmm.
And those moves are very high commitment options. So yeah, using a timing mix up to get in on that by like attacking a weakness in his coverage makes a ton of sense.
Hmm.
Absolutely. What I would actually add to that is when Marth jumps, there's kind of like a spot right below him. Like here, let me bring up Fight Core and show you what I'm talking about because I think you might find this interesting. So we have Fight Core here, and you notice like his legs are always open. See what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
So like this is where one of the spots that we typically aim for versus Marth, because the only move he has that actually covers his legs is this one and this one, but this one's only at the end, so he has to go through, instead of hitting like a frame 4 aerial, he is hitting a frame 7 aerial, which is a lot more manageable. And
Yeah.
it's not really covering like perfectly either. Like if we go to the 7th frame of the move, like he's still exposed on like back here pretty hard. So like if we get onto this side of him, it doesn't really protect him. The only thing
Yeah.
that provides full protection is really his down air, and that's his laggiest move.
Yeah.
So like this is, you can see why I'm bringing, I think you can see why I'm bringing this up, because it's
Hmm.
like it represents a way that we can apply this same idea versus other characters. I would even say this is part of why when Martha's on the ground too, the fact that his options, like when he's in the air, we're often aiming like slightly, we want to get under him basically, we want to aim like at this like exposed part here. But
Hmm.
I'd also add that, like, with your idea of on the ground is actually part of why short hop aerials are, and like short hop needles, aerials, they're part of why we contest his down tilt. Although we have to jump kind of preemptively, our jump's big, but it's why a lot of characters jump around things like his down tilt, because it does do a
Hmm.
good job of defending against the other spots that the other moves that he could do out of a run cancel. Because if we think about how this looks, it's really not actually in front of him for that long, is it?
Yeah.
Like, most of the hitbox is actually, like, about, I don't know about most, but about at least more, like, slightly more than half is really, like, behind him. So, like, if we're jumping in like this, yeah, we can totally outspace that. Not difficult, while also working around his down tilt. It requires him to, like, really do, like, a big call-out, like something like this, but this is also slow. Yeah. So there's a real, like, I don't know. I think that, like, dealing with Marth from, like, this spot here in front of and slightly above Marth is actually not something that's super trivial for him to beat with his ground kit. It requires some amount of effort. Now, that the danger is, of course, he can dash dance grab that, but, like, that's also if we're really efficient about how we do things. Well, you know, we still have workarounds for that. What about, say, what's a character that gives you trouble sometimes?
I think Falco is still my biggest issue right now.
Yeah, so where would you say, like, so if we applied this idea versus Falco when he's on the ground, where do you think we want to aim for him? Aim at him.
I think similar like you can sort of hit him in his head. Most of his.
Yeah, agreed. Because, like, if we look at all his tilts,
head,
like, his tilts don't really cover his head except for this one, but this is on the last frame of the move, and he has to be facing, like, away from you. So it means that, like, it's kind of easy to tell when we go for it because his back will be to you. Same thing with his smash attacks. The only one that's, like, kind of does a good job is his up smash, but it's pretty laggy, and we can just kind of, like, outrange this, can't we? Like, we can just be in a spot where, like, this will miss us, but our move will hit him. Like, can we imagine we can imagine doing our back, like, it's really just these two frames that we have to worry about, and if we're all the way over here with doing back air, like, we don't have to worry about that at all. Same with fair. Like, with fair, we probably just have to time it later, but this is a common thing that Captain Falcon players do, to, like, contest his ground game. Because they have to figure this out with aerials, because they don't really have ground moves. Yeah, we also have the luxury of just being able to outrange him, of course, with our F tilt and such, but, like, absolutely working from the air and bopping him on his head makes tons of sense. What if he's in the air, though? Does anything change? Can we still just, like, kick him in the face, or?
Yeah, I think so. Like, if he's facing you, then, like, most of his hitboxes, if like you're both facing each other, you can squeeze in at his head.
Yeah, if he's facing you and you're facing towards him or away from him, we can still just bonk him on the head. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What if he's facing away from you?
Facing away.
Yeah, I feel like this will be a problem.
It's a bit tougher. Yeah, back air's a crazy move.
It's so good. Hits on 4, does 15. That's all you need to know. Like, decent range. That's all you need to know about it. Like, it's so good. And I'd also add that, like, this does not hit above him, but this is a very good hitbox in general. So a lot of times, like, the way that, like, I feel like the way that we might want to deal with back air is we might want to, like, get under him. We might, like if we try to go through him to get in front of him again to, like, avoid dealing with back air that way, his down air is, like, kind of a problem because of, like, how low it hits and how powerful it is. So one thing about dealing with Falco when he's facing away from you, look at the L cancel times, like 10 and 9. These are, like, two of his more, like, his nair is significantly more efficient on landing, and he doesn't really want to nair, like, facing away from you. See what I mean? Like, his arm's exposed the entire time, his head's exposed. Like, this is not particularly disjointed. Like, this is an easy move to, like, overpower. So bait-style gameplay when he's facing away is very strong, because the other thing he might do, in addition to these two, is his up tilt. And up tilt's not easy to punish, but, like, finishes on 23, so there's 12-ish frames of end lag, and then this one is, like, 10 and 9. Like, these are absolutely F-tiltable and grabbable. So that's, like, there are solutions that are pretty, like, straightforward here and quite strong. The other thing you could do is you back air. Like, again, if he needs to be higher in the air, or you need to have your, or be, like, very well spaced, but, like, you can see there's still kind of, like, an open spot here. where we could like easily put Sheik's back air if he's doing like, you know, a shield drop back air from, like if he's back airing from like the platform, for example, or if he's like doing any kind of double jump back air, any kind of hot upper back air, like ours will cleave through that. Same thing with his down air here, because like there's also that kind of like open spot here. See what I mean? Yeah. You can also just aim for his head, but he's usually going to be above you when he's trying this. So
Yeah.
So does this give you any ideas in terms of like how we can like think about where we place our moves? Because I feel like that's a really important thing, and that's sometimes hard to like wrap our heads around, the idea that we're not really necessarily trying to beat the opponent's moves, like in terms of like in terms of contesting the hitbox itself, but rather a lot of times we're just trying to like aim for where the hitbox isn't.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, just something I gotta spend the time and look at everyone's hitboxes.
A general rule of thumb against characters that are not Captain Falcon, aiming for their head is quite good. Like unless the opponent, like even with like Jigglypuff, aiming for her head is like almost every character. If you just aim for their head, it's usually pretty solid. Falcon, this doesn't work because of his nair and up air and back air and everything. Like because he's in the air so much. Like look at what I mean. Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't work on him. But against pretty much everyone else, Ganondorf, I guess, technically, too. Donkey Kong, kind of. Donkey Kong's weird, but, like, it's because he's, like, the main thing he's going to be doing is, like, this, this frickin' thing. Yeah. And, like, it's not that you can't aim for his head, it's just, like, you have to do it around that, and it's a very efficient move. And the other thing is that, like, his other main aerial is this one, right? So I can't believe that they just like actually turned Sheik's Fair upwards, and then then just gave it and put one frame of like one extra frame of startup and one extra frame of on the auto cancel window, and then they were like, yeah, this is fine. This is not going to be a problem. I'd say Luigi's fine. Yeah, like everyone else, you can basically just aim for the head and it's probably fine. Be careful of characters with swords like Link and Young Link. Be careful of yourself. Sheik is quite good at dealing with it. Sheik, Falcon, Ganondorf, Link, Young Link. Yeah, those are the ones that I would like watch out for with this kind of model. Everything else, like Ness, kind of. And then after that, yeah, like everyone else, you can just kind of do it. Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, even Fox McCloud himself, like, if he's not specifically doing this move and he's facing towards you... I guess with the space animals, they have to be facing away, generally, but, like... Sorry, they have to be facing towards you for this to work, but, like, aside from basically up smash, he doesn't really have a whole lot that, like, denies you aiming for his head. You see what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. So, with that aside, there's other places you can aim on characters, but, like, I think that's a good general starting point. What are your thoughts on what you want to do today? Do you have matches for us to look at, or do you want to take a look at a high-level player, or, like, okay, cool, so you said you have matches?
I have a Sheik Ditto, but first I just wanted to, this made me think of something I wanted to ask about, which is, I was watching Riptide. I was watching a Sheik Puff matchup, and I can't remember the players' names. But the Sheik was like spamming down air against the Puff. Oh, probably Ice King. Yeah, I think that was it. It might have been like Ice King Dawson or something, but or something. Funny about Sheik. But anyway,
I didn't actually see that. I didn't actually see that set. Let me see if I can find an example. We don't have to do like a full-on analysis or something, but I just want to find an example of it. Let me just re-share my screen. So you're asking why? So sorry. What's your question?
I just. Like, I'm just kind of like figure out some of my stuff against Jigglypuff, and yeah, that just looks so kind of unorthodox. But I was just wondering, like the merits of it and
so far. Gotcha. So I haven't seen the downers yet. It's like fine, basically. Yeah. So far, so like all of this stuff. Okay, so you just tuned in. Great. So all of this stuff is basically standard fare. Like I've coached Ice King. Like I know him from a long time ago. So like he and I like have like talked a lot about matchups and stuff. So I'm not surprised to see him playing this way. I feel like the down airs are more of like a Dreffen thing. But he's basically just playing the like 40, like the diagonal, like the 7 and 9 on the number pad that Jigglypuff doesn't really cover well. And then when Jigglypuff goes lateral with him, he tries to like cut that off with needles. Like all of this looks like really good. Yeah, I haven't really like. Okay, was it on in like a later game or something,
I
or
think later in the set.
probably FD? FD would make sense to do it here, because like you're kind of like forced to go above her a lot and like play from like more vertical positions. So, so this should be like falling up air or yeah. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say like falling up air or down air into fair, but then he missed his like dash jump.
Yeah.
That's just
I
like
just
a
remember
mistake,
watching
so.
him doing it a lot, like in neutral. You just kind of like fishing for it.
Probably Puff at high
that was
percent,
interesting.
right? Like 70?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I could see him doing it now when he comes back. Like, let's see if this is a spot he goes for it. Because, like, the reason to do that is... The reason to do that is basically you're trying to just get, like, an up air kill. Or by attacking, like... Because you can still attack the diagonals that Jigglypuff is bad in with that kind of game plan. Because, remember, your down air is, like, not a great move, but she doesn't really have great things there either. Like, if you come in from, like, above and from the side. So, I imagine that's probably the idea. But, yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think, like, right now I look for, like jab forward air a lot, but it's not gonna work every time.
Yeah. So, let's see here. So, I saw... Okay, like that one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's exactly what I said. So, like, what he's expecting from Dawson here is, like, he's thinking that Dawson is gonna, like, fall here. So he's trying to, like, because, what happened before? So he full hopped here after Dawson did what? So Dawson did a nair onto his shield. He thinks Dawson's gonna up tilt or something. Or up smash. Or just, like, or grab, maybe. He thinks that Dawson is gonna do some kind of ground move, so he's trying to, like, basically whiff punish it with, like, full hop fast fall.
Yeah, interesting.
Because if he gets that, then he gets a kill. And if he misses, then, like, it's not the end of the world most of the time.
Yeah.
So, what else? Yeah, so there he's, like, coming in at the good angle. Then he's, like... Okay. Let's see here. Do we have another one?
Is there another Battlefield game in the set? I feel like I saw it on Battlefield, but...
There's a Dreamland game.
Yeah. Yeah, regardless, like, you know, just curious about that.
I want to find one more example. If I can, but, like, you said it was on Battlefield?
Like, it might have been, but maybe I'm just confusing. Like, it was, like, 2 weeks ago or something, a week ago.
Sure.
I don't really remember, but...
Let's see here. So how does he do this? I feel like this is the percent that you'd want Puff at to do this sort of thing. So this makes some amount of sense. Okay, so FD. Dreamland, I could see him going for it on. Let's see here. Okay, Puff's at 90, so if Puff gets onto the ground and they start fighting... Okay, never mind, he just gets the grab.
Yeah. Nope.
Down through rest? Oh, that was sneaky. I don't know why, but I feel like that was difficult to cover, and I don't know if that's true or not. Okay, at this percent, it doesn't make sense to go for anymore. Yeah, because you can just kill her with the actual aerial. So it would probably be like further ahead, maybe around here, maybe around this percent. Like it still knocks over on ASDI down, which is part of its strength. People think that it's, like, a really weak move, and it's not strong, but, like, it's also not, like, it's not, like, I don't know, like, down tilt weak. Like, it has more power than that, and I think that's, like, that's also one of the utilities. Like, it's a move you can do, like, into ASDI down somewhat early that has, like, some teeth. But yeah, I think that he's going to do it, like... Okay, that was a spot I thought he might do it in. But yeah, like, the back air out of shield just makes more sense, and, like, honestly... Yeah, it feels... It's conditional. Like, that's... Yeah, and then now he's at, like, the percent where it doesn't make sense to do it anymore. So, like, what happens here?
Yeah. I don't know, I felt like I saw it a lot, and, like, enough to take note, and I was like, oh, that's... interesting.
It might have been Dreffen. Honestly, Dreffen does it a lot. But it's the gist of it is that you're able to... If you think that Puff is going to, like, do, like, a pressure string where she, like, up tilts or up smashes or grabs, the idea is that you're, like, jumping, full hopping out of shield. You're going, like, over and around it. and then you're coming down on her in the end lag with your down air. You can also short hop it on certain moves too. That one takes a little more, that takes more precision, but it does work. And the other thing there would be, yeah, like you can just angle at the 7 and 9 degree, the 7 and 9 that she just naturally has trouble covering. One thing I'd say is that if you are going to go for the out of shield thing, make sure that you are jumping to a side if she is landing directly on top of you. There's two reasons, and I mean like you are holding a direction during jump squat so that you actually do like come out of shield off to the side. There's a few reasons for this. The big one is that if she tries to do that, like if she tries to call you out with like up air, or something, because she gets used to you doing this, she then has to actually like get the side that you're jumping to right some of the time. The other thing is that like if they do that stupid, like if they do like the fire puff like near rest thing, you will be very happy that you are drifting if they go for that. And then it's still this. It also is like just generally better versus like the up air, versus the up tilt and up smash, because you're also like aligning to be away from those moves. So if they delay it or something, then yeah, you're more equipped to like beat them. So jump to side good. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'll try it out.
Yeah.
Generally I feel pretty good against Puff, but you know, I like adding a little bit of cheese.
Makes sense. So, you said you have matches? Perfect. Yeah. Chic Ditto. Lovely. So how do you find this matchup? I know we've gone over this one before, but how, like, do you still feel the same about it? Has anything changed? I'm curious.
I don't know if we've gone over it, honestly.
Well, we watched you versus Slevin.
Oh, right. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, like, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like it makes sense. Like this one, I felt like makes sense. I felt like my hits I was getting, not correct. Like sometimes I feel like I'll just get walled out and I don't really know what's happening. But like this one, I felt okay. But I feel like there's just some spots where I'm not converting very well, or missing opportunities. Like early on in this game, I like missed just like grab. Like I get it anyway after, but I'm just like missing spots.
Gotcha. So here's a thing that I want to point out. So earlier in this interaction, you go for like short hop like up air on him when he lands in shield. But look what they like their nair because they go for nair. You'll notice like their nair just kind of comes up in a way that actually just like shield pokes your legs very effectively here. So something cool about this is that if you aim the front of your nair, like this hitbox here, at either of these, even at full shield, if they're angling it for shield drop, the exposed side will get shield poked if they like position right. And even if they're not angling for shield drop, you can still shield poke the back leg. So this is like a really good, this nair is very good in general. Like I would just flag this. You can do it with short hop, you can do it while rising with full hop. Both works, but yeah, the nair shield poke, like aiming for like this corner or this corner. Because after a little bit of shield damage or shield decay, this will also hit either. So no nair or shield poke. I'm just going to flag that because I think that this is a very handy thing in the Ditto, because a lot of times people will play these platforms to avoid the grabs, right? Even if you're not chain grabbing necessarily.
Like, isn't that nair like kind of applicable to like a lot of other matchups as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Who are you?
Yeah, generally, yeah.
Yeah, who do you have in mind?
Like any like the human-sized characters.
Yeah, so like who would that include? Marth, Falcon, like, Ganon, Samus, Peach.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Know who else it works on? Space animals. Falco and Fox, absolutely. The only characters it really doesn't work on, I would say, are like the characters have kind of like ball-shaped bodies, like Ice Climbers and like Jigglypuff and stuff. Like early on, like when their shields at full, like those are Pikachu, yeah, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Marth, interestingly, is actually easier, I think, to poke when on his front foot, and I think it's just because of how he like stands. I don't remember if that's like that's what I remember. I don't know if that's actually true or if my brain's playing tricks, but yeah.
Mm.
I do like how you're generally like doing this. I think we're going in from too far away with like this dash attack is really ambitious. So
Yeah.
talk to me about what we're like going for here.
I think I just mismeasure this.
So how do we know, like, how can we measure this better going forward? Because this is...
I think... I think maybe I'm queuing off of, like, her head, which is... It'll just miss. I think that's not where the hitbox is.
Where, your head or hers?
Like, my own character's head.
Okay.
Like, I know, like, the hitbox is that, but, you know, sometimes I just forget.
Yeah, so, like, let's figure this out. Let's figure this out a little bit, because I think that we need a better way of understanding, like, why this isn't a dash attack position. So, like...
Actually, I think this is boost grab. Like, if you look at my inputs, I think I just fail at boost grab.
Oh, yeah. I see it. I totally see it. This is still, I don't think, a good boost grab.
Yeah.
So, like, this is some kind of lunge. We now know it's, like, the other one, but I don't actually think it makes a difference here in terms of, like, the success of our play. So, what I want to say, what I'm questioning here is, if we're starting from here, and where was Sheik when where was the enemy Sheik when she started? Like, here?
Yeah.
So, I think that this is too far. Like, I'll just be upfront. This is too far, I think, for, like, a boost grab. Where do you think, like, the right distance would be for a boost grab? Like, if this blue box is where Sheik should be when we start the boost grab, where do we place it?
I think, like, just slightly ahead of where my model is right now.
Yeah, so, like, maybe here?
Yeah.
Cool. So, what would be a good way to, like, if we want to create an opportunity for this boost grab? Because I agree, this is a great distance. I would say anywhere from, like, here to where you place them, anywhere from, like, here to here is probably a pretty good boost grab spot. Because at here, you're still outside the forward tilt. Like, that's the thing. We're like, it just depends on, like, how much you want to overshoot or not. That's really, like, what determines it. Like, I would say that, like, if you're trying to overshoot, you want to be in, like, overshoot, like, a full-on wave dash or dash back. You want to start it from about here, but if you're just trying to punish a forward tilt or something, then, like, anywhere in this space is fine. So it just depends on what, like, your goals are. You might even make a case that it's here. But you get what I mean. If we're this far away, if we're not at this point where, like, relative to the other Sheik, what is a good thing that we can do instead of this, so that we can create a better opening later? Like, if this is good and this is too far, how do we go from here to here?
Like, I can just stop around here and like reestablish the position.
Yeah.
And the other Sheik's in the corner.
Like, I need an action. I need, like, a way of doing that. So there's like
crouch here.
Yeah, running crouch, right? Like run,
crouch.
run. Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. So let's do run cancel or run crouch. And what are we looking for when we, like, crouch in this spot? So we've now gotten here. We're now, like, we're now hunched over. What's the calculation? Like, we're now here.
Like, what am I? Like, once I've crouched here, what am I?
Yeah, so, like, if this is your 1, and then we go here on 2, and then Sheik is, like, let's say Sheik moves... She's dashing away. Let's say she's here on 3. Like, she goes from here to here. Then what do we do next?
If they continue into the corner, I think I advance a little bit, because then I can cover... I can just continue restricting their space. Because I can cover all of the platform, basically, with the turnaround back air. Or I can attack them if I think they're going to stay on the ground.
Yeah, so from this spot, how do we advance? Like, what makes sense here? She's, like, dashed into the corner, so she is facing away from us. And we are here in crouch.
Like, I think you can just... dash forward and crouch again.
So we move into like this spot, because remember, like there's going to be a range on running crouch, right? So we're going to go here.
Yeah.
Okay. So this will be our 3. And what do you think? And upon seeing Sheik here, you're doing running crouch again. What do you think the other Sheik does?
I think they're gonna try to lunge forward and grab me for it.
Okay. So, yeah, I think that makes sense. So, what I would be curious about here, does it necessarily make sense to commit to a position like this when we already have her like cornered and boxed in like this, and we have like this spot?
Yeah. Like probably not. Like maybe you just walk forward instead to.
There you go. Now we're thinking.
Commit less. Yeah.
Yeah, because like the thing is like we want to go in slowly. We don't want to be like hit by Sheik's boost grab. That's really scary. That's deadly. So what I'm thinking here is, instead of like, all we're gonna do is it's the same play really. It's just all we're doing instead is we're walking. Right? It's because like we could like, by walking forward instead of like running forward, we're able to like wave dash back or dash away way more consistently, way more easily, way more flexibly. We're still going to create the spot that we want eventually, but that's the thing, eventually. So it's just walk. No walk on 3. And we're also keeping access to our forward tilt this entire dash duration. Like one thing I'd be concerned about, because the other Sheik is dash dancing basically by like dashing this way. She's going to be fully actionable and able to see us coming forward. So if she like lunges forward from this position while we're in dash over here, like we don't really have a good way of like stuffing her, you know? Because we're like going from here to here in a pretty set fashion, but by walking we're not. We're also kind of like allowing us to like work with this platform more. Like walking just doesn't give anything away. So I think that this needs to be this makes a lot more sense. So yeah. How do we know that?
Makes sense.
Yeah, and like the indicator I think that we use to know that this makes sense is Sheik, like enemy Sheik too far away.
Yeah.
Enemy Sheik out of range. Or enemy out of range. Range of lunges. OS lunge. Overshoot lunge. Because like the thing about like her dash attack and her boost grab is that if the opponent can just like wave dash back or like avoid getting hit by these things, then there's not. I don't think we should be going for them at those kinds of ranges. Yeah, it just doesn't really make a ton of sense. How do we get grabbed exactly? So okay, wait, what happened? So got it. We get backered off. Fair, true. And then nice recovery, very good. Why are we shielding?
I think reacting to the jump. It's
If you crouch here, can she hit you?
yeah, I guess I'm slightly out of range.
Yeah. Well, more importantly, like if you crouch here, and even if she can hit you, is that really that big a deal? If you're crouching a Sheik aerial?
Like at this percent, I guess you're telling me it's not that big a deal. Like, I don't actually know the percents too well, but.
Does it feel high? Like, does it feel like it's a big deal?
At 74, I feel like I'm getting there, but I guess I'm not there yet.
You know what? Let's quickly consult INI data, because like I feel like facts are going to be a lot easier to like work with than anything else. So let's have Sheik be at over here, Sheik on Sheik over here, and we're going to have her do a late nair this way at 74, and we're not going to have her DI. We're just going to have her crouch cancel. So she goes here. This is like nothing to me. Like this is not that difficult to come back from, because we can just like reach the stage with like the first warp of up B. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's assuming we don't even DI. Like if we do DI, like if we DI like here for example, or even if we just DI like up, like anything really, or like actually down and forward. Yeah, like I don't think that this is that big a deal. We also have, by crouching, she also has to do the aerial low to the ground. So we could also potentially anti-air with down smash or something.
Yeah.
Because, like, we're going to have, like, this entire time when she's traveling down to, like, know that we're supposed to down tilt or down smash and anti-air. I would say that, like, crouching in these spots instead of shielding is a really critical part of this matchup. Because knowing that we don't because this shield, like, doesn't give us anything to work with. Like, what can we possibly do with this shield that we can't do with crouch? Right?
I just shield grab, but that...
We can still grab, though. We can grab out of crouch. We can just, like, we could even shield grab out of crouch. Like, we're not gaining any options, and we're also making ourselves bigger, so it's easier for us to hit us, because she can even just attack the edge of this. We're making ourselves too big of a target, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how do we know that we crouch in this spot going forward? Like, what are the indicators here? Crouch here. Because... And what would you say are, like, the main reasons why? Where is she?
I think, like, this Sheik started pretty far back.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, like, advancing into me.
Yeah. So, like, they started from, like, over here, right? Like, kind of, like, around this spot. They're kind of doing this. So, perfect. Opponent started away. No, opponent, opponent Sheik jump. Is approaching. Approaching from far. Approaching from far away. No, from out. No, from how would you describe this distance? Like, is it too far to fare? Is it outside? Like, what is it? What is like, she can probably fare, like, upon review, she can probably fare at the very bottom, but she has to do it, like, here. Like, she has to max range it.
Yeah. Like, it's just on the very edge of, like, that short hop aerial distance.
Yeah, from very edge of short hop aerial zone. I love it. And then the other thing is, if we were at, like, 120, I would agree with you. Like, this, if we were at over 100 up, I would agree that, like, we don't do this here. But I would say that we're maybe below 80. Or below 9. Well, actually, no, I need data. Oh, no, I closed it. Let's say below, what number do you want to put here? Below what percent? Just as, like, a benchmark.
I'll go with 85.
Below 85, sure.
Yeah.
That sounds about right to me. I would have said, like, 90 maybe, but, like, 85 is fine. Below 85, so CC still, like, keeps us alive, basically. And then the last thing I want to point out is, we'd be crouching while she's still, like, we're crouching before she's, like, entering the peak of her jump. So, crouching, can wave dash back. Crouch, so how do we describe that as a height? Crouching before she's falling. She's falling. Because, yeah, like, if she's already falling, you might have to just, like, protect yourself another way. But because we have time, because this is what really allows all of these things to work. Because the other, we could down smash here. So, like, this to me was such, like, see how she, like, just wave landed into us and then, like, got it and then got the grab? Like, that doesn't happen with crouching, because we just, like, as soon as she reaches a certain, like, point in her, like, jump, like, in her descent, that's our cue to just down smash, because we're just plowing through whatever she does with the invincibility. If she even if she wave lands back in that spot because she's in range coming down, like, it doesn't matter. So it's so strong. Like, you have so much power there with, like, a small thing, with a small adjustment.
Yeah.
Era. I don't know who Era is. Is that like an abbreviation, or?
I don't know. I don't think I've met them before. They might have come to logo before, but. Yeah.
Green Sheik. It's sitting. Yeah. I was just like, I wonder if that's somebody I knew. Nice.
Yeah, I asked around. Like, I don't think anyone knew who they were, so maybe new to the local.
Okay, so let's talk about this moment. So, do you know when Sheik drops below a certain point in her recovery, you can just hit her, right? Or do you not know that?
What do you mean? At, like, a certain height?
Yeah. So, like, look at where Sheik is right now. She basically has to up B. Because she's not going to make it to the stage, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is you can just fall off the ledge here and back air, or you can like fast fall off the ledge and immediately double jump back air, and it will kill her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've seen that before, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so do you know how that works? It's okay
Like,
if you
mean.
So
yeah,
like
I'm not exactly sure what you mean.
So is Sheik starts her at B here, right?
Yeah.
Is she invincible?
Not yet, I think.
Correct. So this is why you can do this, because
Yeah.
with Sheik being here, like once Sheik is in a certain zone, she has to. There's going to be space that she has to travel through. So once she commits to her double jump here, like this is the peak of her double jump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she has committed to the peak of her double jump, no matter what she possibly does, there's always going to be a certain like area that she has to travel through in order to like go for her at B at all. So the space she has to travel through is like basically this general area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm saying here is, if you drop off the edge at this point, like when she's right here, and you come up with like your double jump back here to cover like this space, because this is about like where your back air is going to hit, like around this general area. What can she do about that?
Yeah, she doesn't really have anything left.
Right.
Yeah.
So like this is what I'm getting at. So I would say here is, once you see her once you see them at the peak of their double jump like this should be a cue for you to like be aggressive if they're anywhere within well, what do you think where do you think they have to be to like have to go through this area, the back air zone? Where do you think that Sheik has to be, where do you think that the opponent Sheik has to be recovering from? Like if they're up here, they don't have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about, so this one? No. What about here? Because the space that you control is actually higher. Like it's probably about here. It probably goes up to about here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but from that length, they can't make it back to stage. Or actually,
no, they can definitely make are you like distance wise? No, they can definitely make it back from here if they double jump here.
I was just thinking second half only for some reason.
Yeah, because they have two hops, right? So they'll do this and then this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So with that in mind, like I think it's like this roughly how it works. So with that in mind, what do you think? What about from? So I think that with this one, they kind of get close enough that we can cover it. What about from here? What about from here? Like I don't think they have to go through here, right?
No, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what we're learning is there's kind of like a line that goes. There's kind of like a line around here that is the top of our that's like kind of the upper area of our back air range, because she like not quite the very top of it, but like kind of like slightly below the very top of it. Mm-hmm. That represents like the point at which Sheik can kind of go around another Sheik. And there's a little bit of variation. There's a little bit of variation on it, because it will vary, like depending on where her starting point is. You know, her ability to go around it will change a bit. And I think that's important to acknowledge. Because if she starts here and goes up, we can kick her. But if she starts here and go up, we can kick her. But if she starts over here and goes up, we can definitely like delay kicking her, because she's going to have to fall into this space. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's also like a distance component, which is probably like around, it's really just like it's really over like here, I think. So what we can do is we can kind of like understand that anything within this space, anything recovering within this space, or anything recovering, no, because anything behind it, she can like kind of like use the invincibility to go like here. Yeah. So like anything behind, anything above this line, and anything behind this line, we probably just hold the ledge, generally speaking, and wait. And anything closer in this area, we attack in some way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I think edge guarding Sheik's something I've been having issues with. I feel like it's the timing it based on the up B. I get a bit Yeah, a bit confused because I'm like, I think I'm also just thinking about the poof, and I don't want to get hit by it.
Right, that makes sense. So, like, I would say the best way to avoid not getting hit by the poof is attacking her here, and the reason for that is you just don't even let the poof come out. Like, if she no attack, if no jump no jump has to be.
Yeah.
No jump when entering here. And then no jump when entering, and then over here, yeah, okay, cool. Because the whole thing about the up B is, like, let's think about, like, where she can recover from, right? So let's say that the opponent's Sheik is in this kind of spot like here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way that she gets the double poof is by basically traveling up while not invincible, and then, like, becoming invincible maybe around here. So, like, this duration of her trip, she's not. And then once she gets on the stage here and her ECB like attaches to it, that's when the double poof hitbox comes out.
Yeah.
Right? So like that's kind of like the scary part. But she has to actually pass through this area that we can easily just like ledge hop narrow back air.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of like how you deal with, like, this is a really important component of how you deal with poofs in general. It's if the other Sheik is able to like double poof you, it means that we needed to attack. We probably had to attack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to assume that was supposed to be a back air.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Why go on the platform?
I don't know.
Okay, what would you do instead?
Need down smash at the ledge.
So basically just keep running forward. Like, run all the way over here and down smash.
Down smash or down tilt, or if they do some crazy stuff, then I just grab the ledge.
Okay. So let's see here. How does this work out?
Yeah.
We keep going. I feel like what's going to happen is you're going to get here, and if they double jump sweet spot, you're very unhappy.
Yeah.
Because, like, this can work if they make a mistake on their edge grab, but if they don't, then you're going to be missing a ground move in front of a Sheik who just grabbed the edge.
Yeah.
So I think that we need to like focus on. I think that something we might want to consider is how can we cover that space more effectively and more safely.
Like the space right at the ledge there.
Yeah, I actually don't think so. To be clear, I don't actually hate that you went on the platform at all. I don't think it's a bad play at all. I just think that what we do afterwards is not good because it doesn't really accomplish what we're looking for in this situation. This shield drop could be good in another spot, just not here. So I would say once you end up here, this is the magic spot. What do you think I'm gonna say we should do?
Like drop through needle.
Absolutely, 10 times out of 10, because it's perfect. Like we maybe have to like walk forward for a frame or two before we do it, but like again we have waveland momentum, so we'll be pretty quick with our walk. Like we're not gonna have to build up like full momentum or anything because we already have. And yeah, it's just fall through forward, and then just at the 45-degree angle, like on our way down, boom. Like, this is so strong. Because it, unlike down smash, this actually does go below the ledge, right?
Yeah.
So, like, this going here is, like, brutal, because it also means that if we, like, hit her with this, we can hit confirm into run off, like, fair. We're not also putting ourselves in harm's way. Heck, if we wanted to, when we see her charging the needles like this, know what we could even do? We can just kill her. Like, we can just fast fall forward like this, and then slap her.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, like, this is like a really good spot for us in general. Just, because, yeah, we just, like, put her here, and then boom. So I would say, like, fair or needle. And how do we know, like, how would you say we know that it's fair or needle?
She's close to the ledge, like when she has exits hits then.
Yeah, proximity.
Yeah.
Like, so proximity to ledge, and then there's one thing that she's doing that makes it like super obvious, like that we're supposed to attack.
Like, do you mean the needle charge, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
She can't fight during that. She has nothing to protect herself with. So, yeah, opponent is needle charging. No, is passive. is passive or / committed.
Yeah.
Is this matchup starting to like make a little bit more sense in terms of like where your openings are?
Yeah, I think so.
So what are you learning so far? Like what's making more sense?
Yeah, I think so like in the first example with the miss boost grab, like I think I'm like too desperate for something in spots where I don't need to be. Like I can kind of naturally let like the neutral progress into an opening in those kinds of positions where I have stage position.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're off stage, like I can just be more aggressive. Like the recoveries.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
not good is not the wording, but it's. I mean, yeah, it's my character's recovery. I'm familiar with. It's like its pitfalls and stuff. So.
Exactly. No, keep going.
Yeah, like there's things that I could do to it to punish it.
Absolutely. One thing I want to point out, and this is why I'm gonna play the rest of this set at like at normal speed because I want us to like take some of this in. But like, imagine how much better of a situation you wind up with if instead of shielding here you crouched.
Yeah.
So instead of like you being like in shield with her, you're crouching and she's shielding.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, this is a situation you want to avoid. Like, this is a situation, if you're both doing this is an easy spot where you can get the upper hand against a lot of Sheiks. Because all this is a recognition of crouch is better than shield. Because, again, we're Sheik. What's our weakness? Mm-hmm. Crouch cancel. So, like, it's just, in these kinds of draws then suddenly flip in our direction if they go for this shield. And if they go for crouch, we tie. Because we were also doing the best, like, defensive stance. So it's just like there's stuff like that I think that crouch being better than shield in this kind of matchup is like really key because I think we block coming up as again if I'm seeing it. Yeah, see, like imagine crouching, we can down smash that. We're like primed for spot dodging because we're holding down. It's easy to like get this to get a spot dodge out like pretty from that position. It's just like we're so ready, like we're so much more ready for things. Mm-hmm. I think that like it makes sense that you're going for shields. I want to be clear about that because I know that like one of the big focuses we've had is like that we need to shield more versus characters whose like most powerful tools are hits.
Yeah.
Sheik is a grappler, like in a lot of respects with how she punishes. Mm-hmm. So against her, it's kind of counterintuitive, but like crouches, because they make you so small, actually dodge certain shield grabs at either conditionally, like at certain ranges, or they just dodge them all together. Like I'm pretty sure Sheik can just straight up crouch under Ganondorf's grab. And with Falcon and Marth, she crouches under their furthest hitbox on their grabs. And herself, actually, for that matter. So crouching has a lot of, like, they still can grab her. It's not like Jigglypuff or Kirby or something.
Yeah.
But, like, in order for them to grab her, they need to, like, kind of, like, they have to go deeper into her zone, which is what she wants anyway. Mm-hmm. Like, when the opponent has to lunge further to get Sheik is typically quite happy. One thing about defense here, when you go onto these platforms, I strongly urge you to like I urge you to like hold like ASDI down and like prep for slide offs on the fairs and the nairs. It prevents you from being like hit across, because if you get hit by this without doing that, you just kind of like pop up over here and she can chase you. But if you do it, you just slide off the side here and you're fine. And like you're fine. Yeah. I think you do that some of the time, but I just wanted to kind of, so I think that you're like aware to do it generally, but it's just like a, reinforce correct thing.
Yeah.
Do you find it tough to attack her on the platforms?
Yeah, I don't think I do the right thing a lot of the times.
If you don't feel like attacking her like aggressively, something else you can do in this kind of spot when she's like hit over here instead of like jumping up, just wave dash forward and then or like run cancel forward, like run cancel into this spot and go for up tilts.
Yeah, just kind of shark the shield drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Up tilts are quite good. It doesn't work as well on like Yoshi's platforms and like Pokemon platforms because like they'll hit the shield and they can shield drop like on the in between the two hits. It's still like difficult though. Like it's not a trivial thing. I take it. Did you two do like gentlemen to no chain grabs or? Oh wait, no, you don't. Okay, cool. I was gonna say
No, he asked for it.
Who do you think it would have made a difference?
In chain grabs?
Yeah.
I think if he was asking for no chain grabs, I'd probably practice it more than him. So like I do practice it a little bit. It's like if someone chain grabs me, I'm also gonna do it. But yeah, like I'd prefer to gentlemen not to.
Yeah, I feel you. I hate the chain grab Ditto. It's ugh.
Yeah.
It's like that and the reaction tech chase on Fox, I think, are like the main reasons I wouldn't go back. Like the reaction tech chase on Fox, on the fast fallers, and the chain grab in the mirror are, I think, are the main reasons I'd like kind of like playing Falco these days over her. Just because it's like, even though she's so cool when you get to do cool stuff with her, I just hate how like monotonous like certain game states are, and they're common enough that I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
But I do like her. Like, God, she's so cool. But yeah, it's just. Falco, I can be cool, like, most of the time. Sheik, I can be cool. They'll actually still most of the time. Like, maybe most of the time, but not as much as I'd like.
Yeah, sure.
So this was good by them. Let's look at your recovery here. So you're like, so they hit you off with this. So something I want to point out. Where do you think a better spot to recover is? Because like you're kind of just moving into the Sheik needle triangle. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So where do we want to go? Where do we want to go with our double jump and or a B instead?
I can like move closer into the stage here, I think.
I mean, like she can also adjust how she shoots the needles, though, right? Like she could delay them a little bit. That I'm not saying you're playing.
I was thinking like maybe I can get like directly under the ledge, but maybe from this spot it's a bit far.
Oh, I see. Okay. So if that's what you're doing, so her needle shoots like this, basically, right? Off stage?
Yeah.
Okay, like somewhere in this range, so she can do like this, but this will get like stopped by the edge. Okay. So you're basically trying to get under this line. This can work, but it requires you to like fast fall. Like what would be required of you to do that is you'd have to like fast fall here to get underneath it and then jump forward like this. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's an easier solution, personally.
Like, would you go high and then, like, recover horizontally?
Yeah, double jump in place.
Yeah, double jump in place.
And then, like, because, like, we're going to double jump up to about here, right? And then we're going to, like, we can up B by doing, like, over the line and then sweet spot. Because, like, this section of the up B, like, this second arrow for the up B is we're intangible. Because we've skipped the first, like, it's the second warp. So we're totally fine, and we're totally in the clear until we grab the edge. Like, and at that point, we're on the edge of Sheik, so we're good. But it's really just, like, this first, the thing with Sheik's recovery is, like, at this point, this is where up B starts. This first arrow is, like, intangible only at the end of it, I think. Like it's the intangibility starts around here, like around this point. So the trick to her up B has always been like figuring out a way that you can like figuring out a way to make this section here not a problem. So with her being up here, we know that like if we recover like here in this direction, like if we basically go like anywhere like forward like this, we're basically like forcing ourselves to play into the needles with the first part of our up B. You see what I mean, right? Yeah. So this is what I mean by like this is why going like away from it is actually really valuable as an option, because this is a common thing a way that you survive versus Peach versus other characters like Marth too. Because a lot of times if they're like covering this space, like this general space, like with forward smashes and stuff, it's often better to like just move away from him and then come in after. Because then, like, when we're coming in from here, like, once we reach about this point, we're invincible anyway. So then at that point, we just come back in and we just grab the edge. This diagonal edge grab is very, very important. Being able to do it from different angles, super, super critical, because it opens up a lot of ways to make it there. But we had to, I think, stay outside of the needle zone.
Yeah.
So I would say recover outside needles. Recover away on first up, on start of up B. Up B. Then, sweet spot. Yeah, do you know how to do that? Like, do you have experience doing that, or is this going to be like a new concept? I think I've seen you do this kind of.
Like you just like aim precisely onto the ledge.
Yeah, precise. Yeah, exactly. So if the edge is here, you're basically aiming like this.
Yeah.
So like you could do like this, you could do like this. Like there's lots of ways, but like I would say that this should be like an absolute. This would be something I strongly encourage to become part of your game immediately, because this is like a really, really valuable part of her recovery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm decent at the tricky stuff.
Amazing. If you have the time, I don't have anyone in this hour, so I'm down to finish the set, and then we'll just do our takeaways.
Yeah, sure.
Pog. I figure we have to. It's like less. It's slightly more than 2 minutes left on the set, so
yeah.
Full hopping a little too much. I have it, so I get the impression that they're like putting a lot of pressure on you. Like you're under a lot of pressure right now. Like you kind of get what's going on, but like they're just kind of like a little bit. They're like one step ahead of you a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So quickly, what do you think we do about when we see Sheik double jump up like this? What do we do?
I think I want to try to get under her, the up air, like towards the middle back half of her body.
It doesn't really matter what move you do, as long as you get to about here and come up like this, as long as you avoid the deadly needle zone. Like, if this is the same situation we had with recovering, it's just like, this is the time where we like actually do your line of play, where we try to get under, where we get under her and get under the line. Because all we do is like, we come up like this, or like this. The angle is really the important part here. As long as we, like, the angle and the height, because, like, her needles can shoot basically like this, and she can do them while falling down, so it is important to get underneath her, which is why we want to come in at this kind of angle. Do you see what I mean? Like, we don't actually, like, go into our jump until about this point because of that. I would personally fair her here because she's used her jump. I want to, like, full hop, like, fair her around here, fall, and then when she, like, DIs in, we run off and fair her again, something like that. But, because I just want to kill her. But your up air isn't bad. Like, up air, the way I'd probably do up air is I'd land on the like, up air in the same spot, land on the platform quickly, L cancel, and then turn around and back air, and just back air off air her until she dies. So, both paths basically result in a dead Sheik. I just, like, I think that the double fair is a little more consistent, but, like, your play is still fine. Like, your play is, like, your play is cooler, and it still absolutely works. There's an argument, the big argument, and yeah, the big upside to your play is that, like, it doesn't run as many risks in some ways, of being late, because you're keeping her in the air, but you do have, like, a more difficult advantage state if she DIs away, I think. So pros and cons. I can see myself doing it, honestly. I'm pretty sure I have done that play, and it's good, it's good. Yeah, all of this looks fine. So they actually did the thing that we said that we were gonna do. Yep, they just got us in, like, the right position. Nice, we got him back. What do you think we do after this forward tilt?
I think we advance a little bit.
Yeah, we just, like, bait her, right? Because, like, we see this shield come out. Like, we don't do the needles. Or if we do them, we, like, store them after. And then we just, like, dash dance and, like, try to play around what she does next. Absolutely. We can also just hold the needles and just, like, if she shields, and then just wait until she leaves them and shoot her then. Because remember, she has to come out of shield at some point. So using the needles there is not actually bad, because, again, it would put her to 37-ish or 36-ish, and then, yeah, like, all of our moves now work. So this is fine. Like, that's a perfectly useful... Like, that's just getting Sheik out of early game is absolutely a perfectly acceptable use of needles.
Mm-hmm.
That said, honestly, I don't think it'll take much to... Like, that person's, like, pretty good, but they're not... I don't think it'll take too much for you to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, or to have a stronger showing, at least. Because, like, the big thing here is just that, like, we're using the wrong defensive, like, a stance. Like, we're going for shield a lot when we need to be crouching. So, crouch greater than shield versus grab heavy characters. No, grab heavy characters, especially humans. Especially tall humans.
Yeah, like, rewatching that, like, every time I shield, I just don't think anything. Like, I get very little out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then I would...
That makes sense.
Absolutely. And then the other big one is just recover... learn understanding... build understanding of when to go... understanding of when to play under and when to play over Sheik's needle line. Sheik's diagonal air needle line. Because that's a really big thing, because that'll inform your recovery stuff. And then I'm going to actually add that as recovering away with first warp of up B, and then sweet spotting or playing a timing mix-up, a edge grab timing mix-up with second warp of up B. Aside from that, is there anything in particular, anything else that we kind of covered? Oh, the spacing thing. The spacing thing is big. Yeah. Limit, recognize, build better, stronger recognition of when the opponent is outside lunge range, boost grab, dash attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. And I think, do you think that's enough to get you started, or do you think, or is there anything you want to add?
No, I think this is good. There's the Ditto, and then I have the stuff that like hitboxes that we're looking at earlier.
Yes. Continue to build knowledge base of where we can place our attacks on the opponent's model more effectively, character model more effectively. Love it. If you have any questions about these, let me know. I'll leave you to it though, and yeah, have a great weekend. Okay.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Later.
Later.